Okay, let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm testing this thing out. I have not been live in a while. I have not gone live. I think I did live like once on YouTube. So if you on here, can you let me know how this looks? Is this backwards? Can you see this correctly? Let me know in the comments if you can see this correctly. Because as I'm looking at the phone, it looks like it's reverse backwards. But I want to make sure that you guys are seeing it, in the right way. Can you let me know in the comments if this is right? Okay, you said right on the right side to the left. The camera flips it. Okay, so how does it look? Oh, it's backwards. All right. So I'm trying to find out, how do I correct this? Let's see. All right, let me start over and see. Look around the right side to the left. The camera flips it. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. How does that look? All right, hey y'all. I'm trying to test this out with the live. I haven't gone live. Okay, that's better. So can you see it right on y'all end? Because I know on my end it looks all backwards. So I'm new to this YouTube. If anybody can give me some pointers on how to flip this. Okay, on how to flip this. All right, number one. Okay, it looks fine. All right. Okay. So number one, industry. This is funny. Let me see. All right, it's funny for me trying to write this thing for you guys. Well, anyway, until I get it, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking. But anyway, it's supposed to say the number one industry that I'm gonna talk about is healthcare, right? So if you go into Google and you type, what's the number one? Oh, she said, oh, it's backwards. Okay, yes. I was trying to figure out um how to make it look straight on y'all end, because to me it looks backwards. Right. Let's see. Okay. So until I can figure it out, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna get up here and run my mouth. But anyway, the number one industry right now is healthcare. So if you go into Google and you type in what is the number one industry that you should be in or you should get in, it's going to be healthcare, right? So many of you who have subscribed to my channel, you may know that I am in home care, healthcare. That's the industry. I've been in this industry since 2002. I've been in this industry. I started out, at the bottom, I guess, if you want to say that, but I started out at the bottom and, just got into different things. So what I want to point out is, for those of you that may be in healthcare, Mongoose, if you have a question, you can go ahead and post it. in the comments. If you are already in healthcare and you don't know, like, what should you do, if you're a CNA, a nurse, or whatever, how can you get into that industry, right? We talking millions, billions of dollars in this industry, and you want to know how can you get into the industry. Or if you have a love for helping, people, taking care of your loved ones or people or things like that. You have the business mindset. You want to start a business in healthcare, but you don't know which one, you don't know which route to go. Okay, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Okay, so like I said, I haven't done these YouTube lives. I think I've done one years ago, but I want to get out here and start putting out some information to kind of help you guys along the way, to give you some guidance, some direction, because a lot of you may want to start a business, and you may be like to yourself, okay, I want to start a business, but I don't even know what I want to do in healthcare. Healthcare is so large, but at the same time, there are certain things that you can get into in the healthcare industry and also make money, right? Although we know it's not always about making the money, it is money in healthcare. Just like they be saying on these little TikTok videos, that's where the money reside. Yes, healthcare is number one. You could put that into Google. You could put that into Google or whatever. Healthcare is number one. So this is what I want to talk about. I know y'all may not see this correctly, but it's okay. For teaching's sake, just go with me. Okay, so like I told you, I'm into home care, right? I started my healthcare journey in 2002. I started at a psychiatric hospital, working on the psych wards as a aide, right? So that was my introduction to healthcare. At the age of 22, I started working on psych wards. So I got my crash course into psych at the age of 22. So when I first started working there, I was scared because, growing up, you see all these different type of movies, these different type of shows that talk about, people that have, mental issues and things like that going on. So when I first started there, I was scared, right? Because, they have these long hallways and, so it was just something new for me at the age of 22. So I started working there, and I began to learn certain things, not only on like the nursing side, right? But I also learned about the different behaviors, diagnoses, and things like that. So all that information in that experience, it piqued my interest in healthcare to go even further, right? So although I started at the age of 22 and working in a psych ward, it taught me a lot. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about what people go through, how anyone can end up in that type of situation, and then also to have more compassion for people, to be more understanding towards people. Okay, because if you're working in healthcare, you got to have compassion. You got to be understanding, because you're gonna meet people and take care of people from different backgrounds, different belief systems. They've been through different experiences, whether they were traumatic, childhood trauma, adulthood trauma. You're gonna meet those type of people and take care of them with various backgrounds. So although that was a crash course, I appreciate that time frame. I gave that particular time of my life working at the psych ward 4.5 years, right? So imagine 4.5 years, I learned a lot. So, and then I could see those type of behaviors, in people, because I have the experience. So I said all of that to say this, right? There are different, I guess I would say, types, or things you can do in healthcare. And whether you want to do it solo, by yourself, some of you may be like, oh, yeah, I want to start a business, but do I got to hire people? Do I got to keep up with people? Time? Do I got to get payroll and all of that? Okay, you may be one of the people that, you know what, I don't got time for that. I just want to go into business and work for myself only. I don't want to deal with hiring people, firing people. You don't want to deal with that. That's fine too, because just because you want to do it yourself is space for you in the healthcare industry. You don't have to be this big, large business. It's all up to you. You do it how you want to do it. You set it up how you want to set it up, right? So if you're one of those type of people, I just want to work for myself, do a little something, make pretty good, take care of what I need to take care of, and live my life. Or you may be the person who say, you know what, I want to start this business. I want my business to be $1 million business, right? Let's throw that out there. Or you know what, I want to start this business, but I want to be a small business. I want to be in a place where I'm comfortable. Okay, that may be you too, right? It's nothing wrong with that. The preference and perspective is up to you. And y'all ignore my Christmas tree in the background. It's still up. But anyway, how you want to do it is how you want to do it. Don't let anybody try to pressure you, get you to do it, a different way. You know you at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to write down some different options, like different types options that you can get into in the healthcare field that you may be interested in. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a lot of videos on my channel. I put a lot of information out there, whether you're home care, group home, assisted living, transitional housing. That's what I am currently shifting into myself. So the first thing is going to be home care, right? This is the first thing, home care. So some of you who have already subscribed may have a home care business. So let me tell you a little bit about home care. This type of business model, you provide in-home services to, it could be seniors, veterans, disabled adults, disabled children. It can even be, you can even, have services for those that are in transitional housing, foster kids. So home care is one of those options that you have. So the different type of services vary, right? It depends on your license type in your state, on what services that you want to provide. So you can always start small, as far as providing maybe like the basic services, companion, homemaker, respite, sitter services, personal care, right? You can start that way with providing those services, or which would be considered non-medical, or you can move up to skilled nursing, where you're providing skilled nursing, PT, OT, all of those things that will be under the home health, right? So you have the choice and the option. So some people, you may be like, well, if I don't want to do it as a big business and I don't want to hire people, can I start a home care business just me by myself? Yeah, you sure can. You can get your business name, register your business, get your EIN, all that basic stuff for your business, and you can actually run your home care just you. Now, the thing is, you may not be able to serve as many clients because it'll be just you. But if you're okay with that, if you're fine, you're like, yeah, I just want a little something, that I can make my own schedule and I can move how I want to move, then yeah, you can start a home care business just doing it yourself. Now, if you're one of those people who are like, you know what, I want to be in business, but I don't want my hands in it as much, or I don't want to be that involved. Okay, you want to hire people. Can you do that? Yes, you can with home care. There are different types of licenses out there, like I said before, based on your state. But you can hire people to go out and perform the services. So when you were talking home care, we're talking in home, right? So the services are going to be performed in their home. Okay. Now, depending on what state and what license you have, some home care businesses can offer what they call sitter services, right? Where, let's say, their loved one is in the hospital and most of the family members are working, and and they just want to make sure that their loved one is being cared for, getting their medications on time, getting their baths, eating, making sure that they're okay, right? Same scenario if they was in a nursing home. They would hire or call a home care business or healthcare and ask for sitter services. Someone to come sit with their loved one in the hospital, in nursing home, while they're all at work, right? So that's the only time it wouldn't be considered in the home, but it would be like in the environment where the client is. So whether they're in the hospital or whether they're in the nursing home. So, all right. So, in home care is going to be performed in the home, right? In the home. Okay. Do you need a license? Yes, you need a license to do this. Now, I know if you grew up in like the 90s, early 2000s, things like that, we grew up where people would take care of the elderly and they would be paid like under the table, right? They could be a family member, a friend of the family, and they'll be like, hey, can I pay you to watch my mom or my dad, to take care of them. Um, so they did a lot of those things, and they probably still do that now too. And they're doing it, just because um, they want somebody they know to take care of their loved one. So they don't have a license, right? They're not doing the things. They're not doing it. I guess you would say the legal route. They're just doing it um, the non legal route. But which is okay. We all know families who do that. They prefer somebody in the family to watch and take care of their loved ones. Nothing wrong with that. But when you want to do it a certain way, like you want to make it a business, you got to get licensed, right? You got to get a license for this, for the home care. So because you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. And then since we're talking about protecting yourself, the next thing is insurance. Okay. So we got home care is one option you can start with. The services are going to be performed in the home. You do need a license, and then you also need insurance, and that's what they call liability insurance, right? So you need liability insurance. That's the extra protection for you. Now, I'm here in Florida, right? So I know some states, their requirements may differ, right? So when I first started my journey, when I started my home care, which is a non-medical home care business here in Florida, because of the particular license I have and the services that I can perform under that license, liability insurance was not a requirement. Like here in Florida, we didn't need it, right? But to protect your business, that you have it. I mean, it's pretty reasonable. It's not like it's very expensive, even when you were doing the 1 meal, 3 meal limits, right, for your home care business. It's still affordable. But you want to make sure. Can y'all hear me? Can you let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me? If this is all making sense, tap the screen. Let me know something. Comment, because I haven't seen anything popped up, so I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. But yeah, so let me know if this information is helpful. For some of you, it may be you may know some of this, but it doesn't hurt, right, to review. So you want to make sure that you're getting that liability insurance and covering your business, right? You always want to think protection. And that's what I teach when, clients come to me who have the home care businesses. One of the things that I really, really, really hone in on is making sure that you always think protection. Protect your business. protect your business, right? So you want to make sure you're getting that liability insurance. Now, a lot of times, also what I ran into is people come to me, um, and they don't have the proper limits. Um, Oh, okay. You didn't know all about, yeah, sitter services. Yep, you could do sitter services. And then also with the sitter services, I'm gonna add this in there too. A lot of times they are considered private pay, so you can charge within reason what you want, right? Because you're gonna treat them just like a private pay client. So you got some wiggle room in what you can charge them. So I do like sitter services, and believe me, they are a lot of people look for sitter services. So to get back to what I was saying, a lot of people come to me when to get insurance contracts, because my business, I have the home care business, but I also have the home care consultant business, right? So when they come to us, usually when you're doing insurance contracts, Medicaid applications, you got to have the insurance anyway. But a lot of them don't have the limits, the right limits. Because if you don't have the right limits with your liability insurance, you're not going to get contracted with some of the insurance companies because they have those set limits. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm here in Florida too. Right. And you could do the sitter services with the homemaker companion license. You can. So a lot of them don't have the right limits. So make sure when you're getting your liability insurance, you're getting the 1 mil, 3 mil. Okay? 1 million, 3 million coverage for your business. Because that's what, now most of the insurance companies, you already had a snack, didn't you? You can have it, but most insurance companies, they require like 1 million over 2 million, but some it's the 1 million, 3 million, and I say just go ahead and get the 1 million, 3 million. You know what I'm saying? It's just better to be safe. Go ahead and get that. So those are the limits that you want to make sure that you have when we're talking home care. So as a recap, home care can be performed in the home.
You know what's next?
Who?
Noah.
Yeah. So home care is in the home services. You need a license and you need the liability insurance. So, and then you also can perform, like I said, the sitter services. And if you're gonna do sitter services, you definitely want to make sure that you got your liability insurance, and you got your coverage or whatever. And you will treat those particular clients like private pay. So those are your. That's the first option. That's the first option when we're talking the healthcare industry, because, like I said, it's number one right now. This is number one. I mean, this is number one industry. You could type this in Google, anywhere. This is the number one industry right now. That if you feel call, or you have a love for helping people, then this is the industry right here for you guys to get into. So let's see how long. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the first option. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, and then I'll come back and do the second option for y'all.